Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today I want to talk about Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition. And today I want to encourage you, as a Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition Dungeon Master, and as a Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition Dungeon player, I highly encourage you to shift the majority of your dollars to physical books going forward. And here's the reason why. Okay, so recently my daughter graduated college. My oldest daughter graduated college. Very bittersweet for me because, like, 4 months out of college, she bought a brand new car. And even more bittersweet for me, the car she bought 4 months out of college was nicer than any vehicle I've ever owned. Like, I was like, wow. Like, I guess we did good as parents, but did we do good as, did I do good as an earner? Like, it was weird, right? I was like, oh boy, right? But that's good, right? It is bittersweet, you know, like you're proud of your little one, but you're also like, why do I suck, you know, like, as an earner? But, like, what are you gonna do? All right, so basically, then, like, 2 months after that, she's like, I'm out, and then just left the nest, right? Like, went to, is moving about 2 hours away, because she got a great job, you know, where she's going to be able to work with, with a really good company, and she just, she catapulted out of college, and I'm very proud of her, and it's very bittersweet, because, like, I'm so proud of her, because she's really, like, professionally and productively, she's crushing it. She's doing so much better than me when I came out of college, right? And I think as a parent, that's what you want, right? But also, I'm really bittersweet because she's gone, and I'm really sad, and I'm going to miss her, So, so that is a little harsh, right? So she packs her car, and and we're going to make multiple trips to bring all the stuff she needs to 2 hours away. So we actually didn't hire movers or any of that. We're just, we're still, she doesn't have a lot of money. We're not super rich, like, we're upper middle class. So, we ain't got all the money in the world to hire a mover, right? So we're going to take everything in multiple trips, right? So she gets in her car and leaves out at 7 p.m. because she's got to be there in the morning or, whatever. And and actually, when she leaves, and actually I think I'm wrong, it's about 8:30 p.m. She gets a flat tire at 9 p.m. at night, right? And my wife comes and she got the call from my daughter, and she's like, Autumn's, our daughter's got a flat, right, and she needs help, right? And I'm like, well, you need to get in the car immediately and go help her. Now, yeah, you guys caught that right. I didn't go help her, right? And here's why. Me and my wife were incredibly blessed. We've been in love for 30 years. Got 4 kids. We have a near perfect marriage. I'm incredible. I should knock on wood if there's any wood in my car, but there's not. And actually, my marriage isn't protected by knocking on wood. My marriage is blessed by God. We made vows to God, and He's protected our marriage for 30 years, and I've done as much as I can to protect that marriage, and my wife has done the same, right? It's an act of labor, and that act is blessed by God, right? So we're coming up on 30 years, right? And we have a very Leave It to Beaver, like Ward and June Cleaver, like, marriage. I'm like I do the providing, and she does the nurturing. And that's just the roles we chose. And my wife is easily as capable of being the provider rather than the nurturer. The only thing that I think set those things into place was, actually, I'm not 100% sure. It's a good question, but it's definitely what my wife wanted. We talked it through, and we've taken the roles we wanted, right? So it's on me to bring the bread in, and it's on her to do other things, right? And actually, primarily, she has a lot of attention, just from a time perspective time and attention she can give our children, right? And so one of the things is, but while we have a very Ward and June structure, I am completely capable of any repairs on any physical object, right? My wife has fixed plumbing in our house and is a master at fixing flats, right? Like, in every single way. She has, like, this, device where she can she'll just blow air into the tire and then take it to the closest place and have them flip the tire, right? If it's completely blown out, she can literally get the lug nuts and all that nonsense and actually change the tire. I have zero ability to do either one of those things, right? None, because I'm literally the most hands-off kind of person you would be. I work in tech, right? And so I have literally no hands-on skills, right, with tools, right? So my wife goes, and I said, you need to go immediately and help her get her car. And she's like, well, she has roadside, right? And she says she doesn't just have roadside, she has a brand new car, right? And so she has roadside through her brand new car, and she has roadside through her car insurance, right? I said, you need to leave immediately, right? And she's like, oh, all right, I'll call her and I'll go up because you're right, it's nighttime, and I'll just wait with her. Sure enough, my wife and my daughter ignored my advice and spent an hour and a half until they realized no one was coming, right? And I knew this because I couldn't because I had roadside service and I couldn't get a tow truck to show up before everything went to heck in a handbasket in 2019, right? Where everybody's like cave up, right? The 2019 debacle has flipped the world upside down. And I didn't believe, and roadside assistance didn't work like back before the 2019 debacle, right? So they're sure as heck, I knew there was no way anybody was coming to change that tire, right? And sure enough, I was right? Now, I will tell you right now, I apologize if this is gendered, but I'm still a father, right? And my little girl was stranded on the side of the road in the dark, and couldn't get anywhere. And I knew that our infrastructure was so broken that there was no possibility anyone would come to help her with her car tire, right? And the reason why is I'm looking around and we are in a weird space. There's still lots of luxury left from our old way of life, but you can see a hard fraying at the edges of the infrastructure of labor and commerce, right? And so what I'm telling you is, just for the shape of the new world we are entering into, for your Dungeons & Dragons dollars, I would not spend one more dime on D&D Beyond. And the reason why is anything you buy on D&D Beyond, you can't resell it to anyone, right? Also, you have no confidence that the material you are reading today will be the same even 6 months from now, right? They have the ability to change anything and everything they wish to, right? And in addition to that, there are significant signs that D&D Beyond does not have a great relationship with Wizards of the Coast anymore, right? One of the biggest ones recently was they're no longer supporting Unearthed Arcana, right? Also, there was a mass exodus of talent out of D&D Beyond last year. Mass exodus. When Todd Kenrick left, he literally wept tears on camera. It was so bad, right? Like, there are bad things, in my opinion, happen at D&D Beyond. I would not be investing long-term there. But if you buy the same books in hardback, right, you can go over to Noble Knight Games. Hardback Dungeons & Dragons books in good condition do not go down in value. They just don't. I wish they did, right? Because I'd be able to scoop them up, right? But being now an active collector of 1980s, 1990s, 1970s, and 2000 hardback books, I can tell you they don't come cheap, right? So anything you get in hardback has a distinct possibility of going up in value. And in addition to that, anything you get, the words that are in it will remain the same, and that the publisher of the content is not going to change, which has absolutely happened in the past in Dungeons & Dragons. I remember it. It was some kind of weird, gooey, there was something before D&D Beyond, right? And I remember having an account and going there and saying your account is done because this whole platform is done, right? And D&D Beyond, in my humble opinion, is starting to show the same. Don't spend enough, in my opinion, put your money with Wizards of the Coast on the hardback books that they are selling, right? Do not put your money into D&D Beyond. I think the idea that your content will be safe and protected in a world that can't even change a tire anymore, right? Where you can't even buy the service of roadside assistance anymore reliably, is, the idea that your D&D content is going to be secure and ready seems utterly ludicrous. Buy hardbacks. Forget D&D Beyond. That is my humble opinion. And to you, that is my advice to you. What do you think? Do you see what I'm seeing? Are you seeing some major issues happening overall with our world? Like the idea that my daughter, was just flat out stranded at the side of the road and had to be rescued by my wife because with 2 different roadside assistances that and I knew the second it happened that no calls were gonna have a, you know, if her car needed to be towed, yeah, that would happen in 5 minutes. But because she needed help, there's nobody there. We just don't have a society that has the strength and the resilience we used to, right? To change a tire for a young person stranded on the side of the road. Just not there anymore. So if you think your D&D content is going to be your D&D online content is going to be serviced correctly, good luck with that, right? That's my take. Am I wrong? Let me know in the comments below. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.